we're going to break down some tricks. That's what we're going to be doing. Okay. And the first trick we're going to break down, you guys are going to be surprised because you're like, wait a minute, this is not a beginner trick. In the last few weeks, we've been breaking down beginner tricks, but somebody mentioned last week to do tail whips. And I was like, you know what? I like tail whips. Let's talk about tail whips. So someone in the Discord, Lenar posted a tail whip attempt. And I was like, you know what? Let's break down tail whips, because what he did right here is a very common thing that most people do wrong. It's not his fault. Just the way that tail whips happen is very naturally weird. It's like, I gotta draw a line or something. It's like you are starting out right here, and you like first try your first tail whip and you kick the bike around. And so that feels like you've really progressed a lot. And then you start to realize that to land it, your body weight needs to be 110% different. So then you just get really frustrated and it feels like you are terrible. That's what happened with me on tails. That what happened to me on tail whips is I kicked it and I was like, yo, I think I could land tail whips pretty soon. I was just hyped. I was like, I could definitely tail whip soon. So I kept trying. But what I actually had to do to land it was very different. And so here I want to give him some pointers because hopefully he can learn it a little bit quicker than I did, and he can land tail whips, because this is a really cool trick. So can anyone guess what kind of the main issue that I'm talking about is here? Anyone in here that can do tail whips can kind of notice this, but it looks good. Like he's doing the tail whip good. There's just one tiny problem. And I'll point it out here. You know what? Here, watch this. Okay, I'm gonna quit talking. Just watch. And then I'm gonna play an attempt from me. Here's one. Okay. And I just want you to kind of look at the difference. Can anyone tell a difference? And pro tip, now it's not the quarter. It's not that I'm jumping out of a quarter. Okay, I'll do it. This one's on a bank. That'll make it even easier. It's all about kind of my body position right here. This is the big difference. So look at my body position. Look at where my body's at. Look at where my bike's at. And look at where the bike is at. Jesus, I have so many tabs open. The bike is at right here. Okay. So it's kind of grainy, blurry. I hope you guys can see it. But yes, Kirk, pretty much pushing the bike too far away from yourself. So right here, this is what most people do because it's easy to kick a tail whip around if you just do this. Like you kick it and you throw your arms up and and it's easy to get the bike around that way. But to actually land it, the bike has to be under you. You want to have that bike like directly under you. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard to do. So let me show you here. The bike is like, my handlebars are below my knees on the tail whip. And it's like that for every tail whip that I land. And the reason for that is that when that bike comes around, just like it is right now, my feet need to come down onto the pedals. And if the bike is up here, my feet can't come down onto the pedals. My feet have to come up onto the pedals, and that's physically impossible. So kicking the tail whip and keeping the tail whip under you, like right here, you want the tail whip to be under your knees, definitely under your waist, so that tail whip can come around and your feet can come down onto the pedals. And the way that you have to do this is more scary because potentially you dead sailor. When you kick a tail whip and you keep it under you, this is how dead sailors happen. So there's a fine line between like doing the tail whip and then dead sailoring, and that's what makes doing it the right way really scary. Okay, but let's watch one more time. Kick it, bike stays under me, comes around, feet down onto the pedals. Now I caught all the cranks right there, but it was a tail whip out of a little bank. Look at how small this bank is. It's practically a hop whip. So that's like the common issue that people have with tail whips, is that they're kicking it and they're pulling their arms up instead of staying over it. And so in the bike school video, what we talk about is how you need to be, Right here, like what I'm doing with my body here is I'm making an arch motion. So I'm coming out and my chest is going like this. And I'm keeping my bike under me the whole time. So look. So you see how my chest is still moving in this motion no matter what? And my bike is under me just doing tail whip things. So that's like, I'd say that's the biggest thing that people do wrong with tail whips is they're throwing their arms out and getting it away from them, like Kirk said. And the reason for this, though, is when they're coming out of the quarter and they're kicking the tail whip, is their body weight's going more up instead of out. You want to arch around. You want to make sure that you're coming out and you're going like this, so that the bike can stay right here and do the tail whip while your body's moving like this. What people do is they come up like this and they try and kick the tail whip up here. And it's just wrong. It's just very wrong. So for homie in the Discord, I would highly recommend to the way to fix this is, like I said, it's scary. But what you're going to notice is that I kick the bike just a split second later than usual. Like I could kick the bike right here, but I just have to wait just a split second, keep it under me, and I'm throwing my chest, look at my face. I'm throwing my chest forward and then kicking it so that my bike is like level. I want my bike to be level just like that when it comes around. And so just kick it a split second later. When you're used to kicking it, don't. Kick it just a split second later, okay? What's up, Brandon? How you doing? Brandon, I'm going to double whip for you this week, okay? You called me out on a double whip on, I can't remember where. I should have screenshotted it so I could put it in a video, but oh well. Anyway, so you got to keep that chest over the bars, over the knee bars under you. Like, just keep it there. Brandon, what's your number one tip for tail whips? We should have Brandon on one of the live streams. Okay, so if any of you guys are trying tail whips, I hope this was a little bit helpful for you, just like tiny bit. And yeah, I want homie in the Discord to land the tail whip. But I saw that attempt and I was like, okay, we got to make a video. We got to, hopefully this is helpful for him.